Thinking of working in Austria, but you don't know where to start? I've been through it. And in this video, I'll do my best explaining you how to find a job in Austria, how to understand the Austrian system and what's Arbeitsbewilligung and AMS really are, and how to prepare your CV and application the Austrian way. This is Gira, and make sure you watched my previous video on how to move to Austria, and let's get started. Austria has a strong and stable job market. The most in-demand fields right now are tech, engineering, healthcare, and hospitality. But here's something people miss. Formal qualifications matter a lot here. A degree or certified training can really open doors, especially if it's recognized in Austria. And while many companies are international, knowing German is a huge advantage. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a door opener. And just a short disclaimer before we start, since I have only experience in IT and tech industries, I'll be mostly referring to these industries when talking about job research. So let's start with salaries, and the average salary for tech industry for entry level is about 50,000 euros per year gross, assuming voting salaries apply, which is common in Austria. So what actually those 14 salaries mean? If you're employed full-time in Austria, you usually receive your annual gross salary divided into 14 payments instead of 12. That means you get your normal monthly payment every month plus 2 extra payments per year. 13th salary, Urlaubsgeld, your holiday bonus, paid around June or July. 14th salary, Weihnachtsgeld, your Christmas bonus, paid around November or December. So let's say you earn 56,000 euros gross per year. You don't divide it into 12 payments, but 14. And there's a great online calculator. It's for free, bruttonettorechnen.at. I'll put the link below. That's where you can put any amount annually or monthly, and it will calculate automatically how much you would approximately earn for your 13th and 14th salary. Almost all Austrian collective agreements, aka Kollektivvertrag, and yes, we will talk about it too, they include these 14 payments. But here is a nice surprise. The 13th and 14th salary are taxed at a much lower rate than the normal income. They are called Sonderauszahlungen, special payments, and they get a reduced flat tax rate, meaning that you take home more net money those months. It's like getting lightly taxed bonuses, often adding up to about an extra 1.5 or 2 months of net per year. But of course, there are some exceptions too. Freelancers, so-called Selbstständige, and also some of the startup contracts, they don't include 13th and 14th salaries. Their annual salary just divided by 12. Always check your collective agreement, aka Kollektivvertrag, to confirm if 14 payments apply. It's getting dark so fast and it changes my light so fast. I hope I can finish this before it gets too dark. What is it? A Kollektivvertrag? What is it? What does it mean? What does it mean? Everyone talks about it, but nobody really explains what that is. Kollektivvertrag literally means collective agreement. It's an agreement between employers' associations and trade unions. It defines the basic rules of work, pay, benefits for everyone in a specific industry or sector. For example, IT, metal, tourism, retail, or construction. Think of it as a minimum standard that every employer in that specific field must follow. Even if your company never really mentions it, it still applies automatically by Austrian law. In Austria, kind of a legal safety net that sets your minimum salary, bonuses, working hours. It's like having a national guarantee for fairness customized by industry. So if you are new in Austria, check which Kollektivvertrag applies to your job so you can check out your baseline rights. Now let's clear up some most confusing part, the paperwork. I have good news for European Union citizens or European Economic Area citizens. They can freely work in Austria. But if you're not, if you're from outside of European Union, then you need an Arbeitsbewilligung, a work permit, especially if you're a student or of course depending on your visa, but probably you need one. Let's just make it clear one more time. Who doesn't need an Arbeitsbewilligung in Austria? European Union citizens, European Economic Area citizens, and Swiss citizens, family members of EU, EEA, Swiss citizens, holders of special resident permits, for example, Red White Red Card Plus, aka Rot-Weiß Rotkarte, permanent residents, aka Daueraufenthaltstitel, family members of Austrian citizens or permanent residents, recognized refugees, Asylberechtigte, and people with subsidiary protection after 1 year. Other exceptions, diplomatic and consular staff under the Vienna Convention, students doing internships under international exchange programs, though specific conditions apply, researchers and highly qualified workers under certain schemes, for example, European Union Blue Card holders. The next favorite question is, what is AMS? The AMS, aka Arbeitsmarkt Service, is Austria's public employment service. It's like a national job center. You can register at AMS, get some career advice, job search help, and also register your unemployment and get some support from Austria. So if you're a student and you're not from European Union, like you're also, for example, from Kazakhstan like me, and you got an offer to help with a catering event for 2-3 hours, you do need a work permit. You need Arbeitsbewilligung for those 2-3 hours. So you have to think about this in advance. You have to talk about this to your employer who offered you this job, because applying for Arbeitsbewilligung takes up to 2-4 weeks, also like including the waiting for the Arbeitsbewilligung. So for any side hustle, any small catering, whatever event, small job situation, even for 2-3 hours, you need Arbeitsbewilligung. Because if you don't, you're gonna have problems, but also your employer gonna have problems, and it might affect your visa situation in the future, especially if you're holding a student visa. So don't mess up, be informed, check it all out in advance before starting that catering job, because it's a very classical situation that happened to a lot of people that I know, or students in the time where I studied. So make it transparent, have your documents settled, and then start whatever event that you are supporting. So be careful. So basically, AMS Arbeitsmarkt Service job is to help you to find a job, to find a fitting job, and also help you out in the meantime while you are unemployed. Also, they do good job with putting a lot of information on the website. So if you have any questions, they also have free consultations, so you can make an appointment and ask all your questions regarding the job market and the job search with AMS consultants. I also talked about some of the types of visa in my previous video, so just a reminder to check it out. Maybe you can also find something helpful in that video as well. If you are an international student in Austria, you can of course work too, but with some limits. Non-European Union students need Arbeitsbewilligung, work permit, and they are allowed to work 20 hours per week. European Union students usually can work freely. Austria really values work experience, so it's really nice to gain some experience during your studies. So if you have the chance, do it, because it's gonna help you when you're gonna be looking for your future full-time position. Where do people actually look for a job in Austria? As I mentioned earlier, you can always start with AMS job room and consultations. They also have some portfolios and open positions of different industries and companies. The other option, also very popular, is Karriere.at, Stepstone, Willhaben Jobs, and LinkedIn. Sometimes some of the jobs in Austria are not even advertised. They are filled through networking. So my personal advice to you would be to go to those events, those that are interesting for you from the industry that you want to work, and meet new people, build new network, be active on LinkedIn and connect with different people from the industry. Building your own network helps you with the job search a lot. Because sometimes being active at the events and meeting new people, meeting the right people who might open the right doors for you. So network, network, network. Let's now talk about your CV and the application process. Before making this video, I interviewed my colleagues from IT industry and also space tech to collect all do's and don'ts in the CV and application process. So I hope those tips will be very helpful for you. Having a photo in your CV is normal in Austria. I know it's not very common in America, but in Austria is usually very welcomed. Keep your CV short, maximum on 2 pages. Focus on your education and your experience. No buzzwords, no water, so to say. I don't know if you say so in English. No water. If you have gaps in your CV, in your experience, it's okay. Just be honest and explain them in your CV, but also in your application. So what my HR colleague told me, the advice that she gave to the applicants, they always ask questions to those gaps, and they don't like when they are just like cut it out, you know, like you have 5 years of gap, there's nothing, there's no information, just put what you did there. Maybe you did some training, maybe you traveled the world, maybe you tried a new career orientation, maybe you were doing something creative. Just put it there, very shortly, but you were doing something. Don't hide it, don't cut it out, because HR will have questions. Like, it will arise more questions than answers, obviously. Anyways, next point, Austria uses a Motivationsschreiben, a motivation letter. It is a must. It goes together with your CV in your application. And it's not just a copy-paste. Dear sir or madam. It has to be authentic. It has to be very genuine. It has to show your interest in the company and why you are applying to that company, why you are the best candidate for that job. It's your opportunity to talk to the company and to the HR team to choose you, to explain why you are there, why you want that job so much. A lot of people, and of course, according to my sources, a lot of people miss those opportunities. They just copy-paste and they don't care. They just send like 100 of those motivation letters without the soul, so to say. So invest your time in learning the company, learning the profile, the portfolio of the company, explain why you are the one for the company. You have to stand out, and you stand out when you are being honest and genuinely interested in the company that you're applying to. Another great tip that my colleagues gave me, and I think it's very cool, usually, especially in Austria, you get the name of your interviewer, of the HR team that's gonna be doing your interview when you get to the interview. First of all, be on time, and Austria is very much appreciated. Be like 5-10 minutes earlier. But also, you have the name of your interviewer. Try to Google that person, find on LinkedIn maybe, and stalk a little bit. That's literally how my colleague told me. Stalk that person, get to know that person digitally. See if you can connect on some personal level. For example, ask about the education, or like, hey, I know you studied there, my sister studied there. Hey, I saw you volunteered at this organization. I think their mission is cool. I also support that. Or something like this. It always impresses HR team or the interviewer, and it always marks something in their memory, and they remember you more than other applicants that didn't try to build this bridge between just being an applicant to being a little bit someone more than just an applicant. So I think it's a cool tip that my colleague gave me. I think it's very cool and creative, and why not? That's how you show not just interest in the company itself, but also in the people and also in the future team of yours. So I think it's very cool. So maybe keep that in mind when you're going to your next interview. So here's a short wrap up on common mistakes and some don'ts that are based on experience of HR people. First biggest mistake, and trust me, it happens quite often, that applicants send just the LinkedIn link. That's it. And nothing else. Big mistake, they don't even review it. It's gone. Be sure you have your CV, clean, professional, with a new, fresh photo, motivation letter, which is personal, which shows your genuine interest and explains why you are gonna be the asset to the company. Be sure that that motivation letter is not just a copy-paste from another company that you send to. HR will know. They know. That's it. It's very simple. Another very common mistake, or I don't know if you can call it a mistake, that non-German speaking applicants ignore German applications. Like they don't even apply because they get scared. Yeah, they ignore them because they look too intimidating. It's in German and the chances are very low. It's not necessarily true. Again, according to my sources, they do want you to apply anyways, even if your German skills are not as perfect or the way you want it to be perfect, or you still should apply. So that's basically the message from the HR teams. Apply anyways, show that you're gonna learn the language, you are learning the language, and it's not scaring you away. Maybe get some help from your native German speakers with writing the motivation letter, to compose the CV in German language, because in this way you have higher chances to find a job. Because if you ignore all German language listings, then you get less chances. Keep that in mind too. And finally, the biggest mistake that so many people do, they give up too soon. I cannot even count how many applications I sent in all 10 years that I've been living in Austria. And yes, indeed, I did give up at some point too, but don't. Just keep going. And what I'm saying, it's not like sending, thousands of applications per day. Find your top 3 or top 5 companies that you dream of, you want to work for. Investigate, research, get to know those companies, and prepare your CV and motivation letter nicely and openly. And I think you have very, very high chances for those 5 applications than for 1,000 just like conveyor, sendings, automatical sendings, just like swiping like on Tinder. Make it personal. I think that's the secret. That's how it happens sometimes. Maybe I might be wrong too. So my message is, and also from HR team, don't give up. Keep applying. Also, you have the right after the rejection. Anyways, you can ask the HR team or your interviewer when they send you the email like,
"We are very sorry, but..."
You can always ask for feedback, like, how did you do at the interview? How did they find your CV? Do they have any feedback? Because some interviewers, they do reply and they do help you improve your application in the future for the next company. Some interviewers, they don't reply, but it's okay. Don't take those rejections too personal. It's fine. It's just part of the game. It's okay, because you're gonna burn out if you're gonna take every rejection too personal. Ask for the improvement and improve. Take that feedback and implement that feedback, because if it's good feedback and very constructive one, then it will boost your application for the next company. So I think it's great. So here's your roadmap to finding a job in Austria, from legal to practical tips. And I know it's very hard to cover all the topics and to help with all points that are out there. If you have any questions, just leave them below and I'll do my best to help you out with your job search journey in Austria, because I've been through it. I know your pain. I hope that this video made a teeny tiny bit things clear in your head and helped you understand the systems and Austrian job market a little bit more. If I help at least one person with this video, my mission is done here. I'll be so happy. And I really hope that you don't give up and that this video helped you understand things a little bit better. And I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye.